size so at the
The reason
the
why it's
headline.
important is because you girls don't understand the volume of your.
Hey guys, it's Hink here. So we have without a doubt one of the most toxic "does size matter" videos that I've ever seen in my entire life. You know, I don't really frequent the internet that much. I don't know who this guy is and why he has a podcast or whatever with almost 1 million people. This guy does not need a platform.
Boy, that escalated quickly.
We're going to basically dismantle this video, but I'm also going to provide you real science so you can actually learn real size statistic, real facts about female anatomy, etc. Yes, this should hopefully be an entertaining video, but you should actually learn quite a bit from this video. So let's get into it. If you guys don't mind, just take a quick second to like the video. And if you're a new subscriber, consider subscribing.
Both in your head going, I got the tightest pussy. Because you haven't heard anybody tell you that your pussy wasn't tight in your whole life. We say you're tight because it's a reflection of our dicks.
Right.
When we're going, oh, you're tight, we're really going, oh, it's so big. Your tightness is tied into our ego.
Here he starts off with some of the most toxic shit I've ever heard in my life. So this guy is basically saying that the reason why men say that women have tight vajayjays is basically they're complimenting themselves about the size of their own D. And so that's why all these women get told that they have tight vajayjays. And yes, guys, I'm using the term vajay for YouTube. First of all, bro, are you just lying to yourself? I mean, are you lying to these women being like, oh my God, it was so tight, even when it wasn't, to make yourself feel better about your size? If so, that's toxic AF. And what kind of messed up egotistical maniac will give a compliment to a woman only because it's a reflection on himself? What the heck? Is this what men are in 2024? What is going on here? And guys, if you really want to feel like you have a big D, she will tell you. Not all the time, but usually she would be like, whoa, that felt huge or something like that. But don't go fishing for compliments, guys. The best and most sincere compliments are the ones that you don't fish for. It's just whoa, that was amazing, or whoa, that felt big. And guys, and we need to break down some female anatomy. So I'm going to have a separate video on this, but I do want to talk about this paper here. This is a paper on vaginal width, the vaginal anatomy, and it says the width was the largest in the proximal vagina at 32.5 millimeters. That is 1.5 inches at its widest when they're looking at this paper for the anatomy of women. Yes, it's normal for women to have for it to feel tight, I would say. Now, there is variation, guys. In this paper, it shows that there's a variation between it gets tighter as it passes through the pelvic diaphragm and then it widens out again. And of course, it is only natural to assume that a larger woman, a 6'5" woman, is going to have a larger vagina or a wider vagina than a girl that is 4'11". So there is some anatomic variation, but in general, the vaginal canal, for the most part, is a narrow passage.
So every girl thinks they have the same size and it's the tightest. Because every girl's been told they have the tightest. When you're at the gym, you're not peeking into each other, right? So you have no clue. Everything's internal. Guys, when we're fucking peeing at the airport, you might walk and then there's a guy and he's holding his shit. You're like, yeah, what country is he from? Right?
I actually like this girl. She seems to be kind of genuine and earnest, but watch her facial expressions in some of these videos. The way she looks at that dude like he's a total a-hole is just hilarious to me. Guys, we are much more aware of other men's sizes. From the time that you go into a public shower, public urinal for the first time, you're looking around. I've made a whole video about why it's bigger than you think or why you feel like it's smaller than it actually is, where I talk about things like foreshortening. When you look down, that perspective makes it seem like it's smaller than it actually is, versus if you're looking at somebody else and you see their D, you don't have that foreshortening, and so it looks bigger for a lot of different reasons. But we do have that kind of thrown in our faces far more than women. And I know this was contrasting and comparing the tightness of women's vajayjays, but that is part of the reason why we're so obsessed with it, because we're inundated with it either through, like I said, urinals or public bathrooms, but also even things like popular culture and media and Hollywood. If you haven't seen my video on Hollywood and how that's basically contributing to male self-esteem issues, you should definitely check that out, because I break down all the tips and tricks and all that stuff that they do in Hollywood to F with us.
Competitive because it's you see it.
You see it and it's in porn. You don't see internally what's going on in there. Their pussies are tight and then they open up.
If you take nothing else away from my channel, I feel like 90% of men's issues with their size would go away if, number one, they got into very good shape. let's say, got less than 15% body fat, an actual 15% body fat, not what you guys actually think is 15% body fat, and stop watching porn. Those two things would resolve so many of our issues. Here, this guy's talking about, oh, well, it's in porn, you see it. Like, stop watching porn. Don't compare yourself. If you're insecure about your height and all you watch is NBA games, it's going to F with you, okay? Or you're insecure about your height, but you're the towel boy for the New York Knicks. Yeah, you're going to think that you're the shortest guy in the world, even if you're like 6'2". Please, just stop with the corn. Trust me, stop. If you must use it, use some sort of corn where it's like average size guys or even smaller sized guys.
You can be a better lover.
Yeah.
You know, and with like the guy with the not as big could have.
No, I want you to keep saying this lie. This is adorable. Keep going.
Are you serious?
It's the motion of the ocean.
It's not. I'm not saying what it is. I'm just saying like it's not that. That's not the end all be all because no, it's really not. No,
Yeah.
that's been like the worst sex of my life. Like the bigger dicks.
Here, I just want to go like full on hot take. Like Callie, like cue the music, cue the flames. This is the problem with men these days. Okay, not all men. I'm not trying to get off pilled. Whatever. I don't care. But like the fact that there is a girl talking about her experiences and how size is not that big of a deal and how some of the worst experiences that she's had have been with larger guys, and this guy's just like, nope, I don't believe it. I don't believe it. This is what she wants. This is what she wants. That is the problem. I get so pissed off in these live streams, especially when I see guys in the comments that are like, oh, well,
my ex-girlfriend told me that her ex was 12 inches and that's all that she can get off to.
I don't know what the opposite of cope is, but like you have to stop doing that. That artificial negativity. I like, what is it achieving? Does it make you feel better to think that you're not enough and that girls only want a massive fat hog? What does that achieve when you literally have objective evidence from a girl, or subjective in her case, saying size isn't all it's cracked up to be. We don't want that. And you're like, no, I don't believe it. Go ahead, perpetuate that lie. That is pathology, guys. You have to stop doing that. Get out of your head. That is not even what the data says that women want. So guys, I made a whole video about like, you know, breaking down the paper using 3D models of like the size that women actually want according to science. In this paper, and I quote, for one night stands, they want 6.4 inches or 16.3 centimeters in length and 5 inches or 12.7 girth for a one night stand. So the women in the study actually preferred that for the one night stand, a little bit bigger. But for the long-term relationship, they preferred 6.3 inches or 16 centimeters in length by 4.8 inches in girth. So yes, length, that's definitely above average. It is. It is a little longer than average. But it's not like they're saying they picked out a 9-inch 3D model, okay? That's not what they want. Stop listening to this jackass who's like, oh, this is what girls really want. This dude is just perpetuating this false narrative that all these girls are size queens and want these massive hogs. And I get that there's a lot of that false narrative going around.
Eating the dogs, the people that came in, they're eating the cats.
Really not. No,
Yeah.
that's been like the worst sex of my life. Like the bigger dicks I've had.
But you're like a tiny thing.
That's true.
And here, guys, once again, this dude is, putting his forearm up in the air. And she's like, no, that's not what we want. Speaking of forearms, okay, Hink, damn, bro, you getting peeled, dog. Like, once again, I'm telling you, I have asked actually multiple women, what has been your worst experience? Without a doubt, they have said it's the guys with the big hogs that don't know what to do with it because it just hurts and they're just kind of thrusting away. So once again, here's another woman saying that the worst she's ever experienced has been guys that are well endowed.
That's been like the worst sex of my life. Like the bigger dicks I've
But
had.
you're like a tiny thing.
That's true. Thank you.
So that's the thing. So you probably don't need as much.
Totally
Right?
fair.
But a bigger girl, she's gonna need to get filled the up.
And then once again, this guy comes with like this anti-cope.
Well, you're a petite girl, so, of course you don't want a big one, but, those other girls, they're the ones who want to get filled up.
Like, dude, like you clearly don't understand female anatomy. It's not, so I don't know if you're talking about like bigger girls, like just like girls that have more body fat, because obviously there's no correlation between the amount of body fat a girl has and like the size of their vajay. Or you say, oh, only the really like tall ones then, or the really like large framed ones. Maybe those are the ones that might prefer a bigger, but you can't just assume that a girl, because of the size of her body habitus, wants some like gigantic hog. It's so asinine. Like, I can't believe this guy has a platform. Like, who is this guy and why do people listen to him? Like, what a idiot.
Oh God, I don't think I have the grippiest. I think I have strength, like my Kegels are real strong and I know how to time it with the undulation of a man.
What does that mean?
When he thrusts in and out, you time when you squeeze, right? You squeeze and suck. It's a timing thing. If you're just constantly doing this, there's strategy involved. But I don't think that I have the tightest in the world. No, I think I just know how to do it.
Now, this clip is interesting, and I really like this clip because this girl is talking about how she doesn't think that she has the tightest. She never, like, claims that she does. This guy, once again, is pushing this narrative that, oh, all girls think they have tight vajayjays. Like, she's like, no, I don't think that. But she knows how to use her Kegel muscles, her pelvic floor muscles to like maximize the pleasure for all parties that are involved. This is a key point because so much of like a good encounter is thrust upon the male, no pun intended. It's like, oh, if the girl goes and talks about, oh, I had a crappy experience, that's like, oh, well, the guy must be crap in bed. It's like, no, maybe the girl is crap in bed because it is a two-way street. And I'm not trying to get all pilled, but especially these women, they put like all this pressure on men about like, oh, the size of their D. Then it's like the motion of the ocean, but it's still like the guy's motion of the ocean when she can control things as well. So I like that this girl is like, look, like I know how to get busy, and I'm not gonna lie, like I'm very intrigued by what she had to say.
I just don't see a reason to talk about like size and like better or worse because I've had sex with different sizes and different people, and like there's not a correlation to the good time that I had.
Yeah.
And guys, once again, here is a very important takeaway. Like, first of all, I'm not trying to say that like size doesn't matter. That's stupid. Size matters. I made several videos about it, including my like bad news video. That's stupid to be like, oh, size doesn't matter at all. But like in this clip, she's saying that her best experiences do not correlate with size. We also had the video from the therapist that talks about how her best experiences were actually with guys that were either average or smaller than average. So guys, please stop with this nonsense. Get out of your heads about, stop watching this pornography mindset where you have to be this stallion and just like jackhammer away in order to get girls what they want. That's not reality.
If the motion was good, is there a size that you would like the ocean to be?
Husband
Husband.
Yeah.
husband is where it's at.
Yeah, and that might be different for everyone, but husband is really the goal.
And guys, here, once again, they're like, well, if the motion is good, what is the ideal size? Once again, guys, they talk about that boyfriend D. I talk about the boyfriend D in my ideal D size video where I actually break down several of the articles talking about that. Check it out after this. The fact of the matter is, the boyfriend D, the husband D, is one that is pretty much average, maybe just on the upper size of average. Like I talked about earlier, maybe about 6 inches by about 4.8 inches. They say it regularly, like something that is not going to hurt and that you can get down with every night. That is the ideal size, guys, and they call it the boyfriend D or the husband D for a reason. That is a compliment, not an insult if a girl tells you you have a boyfriend D.
What do you mean, boyfriend?
Urban Dictionary says.
There's a dictionary?
Can you look at the white dictionary first if we're looking at Yo, matter of fact, go to the Chinese dictionary. I need you to get off Urban Dictionary. Go to Indian Dictionary. Go to Turban Dictionary.
That's a great definition. Boyfriend. The kind of you can ride every night because it fits just right.
Yeah.
This boyfriend makes me feel like Goldilocks. It's just right. First of all, you got that from me. Baby Bear's porridge, baby. This is Baby Bear's porridge. It's just right. I've been saying that. I got Baby Bear's porridge.
You don't want a girl to say that. You don't want a girl to say that.
You don't.
Ah, perfect.
Perfect keeps you in the game forever.
So guys, let me know what you think about this video and what you think about this guy. Also, just tell me, who is this guy? I mean, like, seriously, who is he and why the hell does he have a platform? But guys, we gotta get out of our heads when it comes to these size issues. Stop watching porn and be in the best shape you can, and I promise you, you will feel better about yourself and your size. And of course, if you are just deathly insecure about your size or you just really want to get bigger, I do have my enlargement course. We're breaking down real science like what I used in this video. I teach people how to add 1.5 inches in length and over 1 inch in girth, okay? If you get the results I did over 3 years, which yes, I have the receipts and many of you all have seen them. Anyways, guys, that's gonna do it. Remember, there's nothing wrong with self-improvement, guys, but you are enough just as you are. Stop listening to dickholes like this that don't know what they're talking about, perpetuating insecurity, and his dumbass crew that's like hyping him up in the background. You are enough. All right, guys, until the next one, peace and love. Don't forget all the ways to support me. Links in the description. Peace.
Dr. Hink got the plug on the health, yeah. Got you thinking.
Hey guys, as always, if you listen to this podcast, you think we're smart, you think we're intelligent, you think we're brilliant, you're absolutely right. But if you listen to this podcast and you think we're just a couple idiots who don't know shit, you're right too. It's the Brilliant Idiots Podcast. Thank you for listening.
Peace.